Going on from there too, one of my favorite things about that game is the cheat system.
The cheats. I don't remember the cheats.
So the cheats, the game, it's not so much the cheats that I remember the most, it's what you could do on the cheat menu that was genius that Neversoft thought of.
What?
If you go onto the cheat menu and you write like a swear word, like you write like the F word or something, yep. Spider-Man will just pop up on the screen and punch it into something not a swear.
Oh my god! I didn't know about that! Oh my god. Well, I didn't know what swear words at the time were, so...
Well, no, we didn't either. This is something I found out recently, later on. But,
that's so funny. That's so clever,
I'm obviously not going to say what they are, but if you write, you can get very creative, let's just say. And it's amazing how many they took into it's amazing how deep they actually thought this through.
Well, it's funny, like, to think about, like, alright,
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. On this episode, me and Alex are going to be taking a look back at some of the more strange games that we played during our childhood. Most of them being on the PlayStation 1, and of the licensed variety for the most part. Let's just say, some of them were good, some of them weren't so much. But honestly, that's why it's a memory. Anyways guys, thank you for joining us as we discuss the games that shaped us. So, we played some weird games back in the day.
We sure did.
Yeah, we did. So, basically, guys, the theme for this episode is we're going to take... I have a stack of PS1 games that we played back as kids when we first got our old classic not a PlayStation, a PS1, the smaller version.
Yep.
But,
the
so I got a stack
version.
of games we played back in the... Yeah, it was portable. But, portable, as they said.
Yep.
But, anyways, how we're going to do this is I've got a stack of games here, and we're going to kind of just go down them and kind of give our memories of them. Some of them were pretty good. Some of them are pretty
Bad.
Garbage.
Licensed
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. Classic.
Which is what
So,
we grew
anyways,
up on.
the one I wanted to... Yeah.
Yep.
So, anyways, the one I wanted to start with was actually Rugrats in Paris for the PlayStation.
Yep.
So, the funniest part about this one is, I think for the longest time we didn't even realize there was a single player.
Yeah. No, because I remember you always used to be like, oh, come here. Like, you gotta help me play Rugrats in Paris, because I always had to help you play.
Well, yeah, because there was two options. There was the single player story, and then there was the mini games.
Yep.
Like, because in the story mode, there's like a whole bunch of like mini games that you have to like play to like get like tickets and stuff to complete the game.
Yep.
But there's a 2-player mode that gives you the option to just play the mini games.
Yep.
And as a kid, at the ripe old age of 5, you were 4.
Yep.
We literally didn't realize, we thought that just was the game.
Yep.
So, we played a lot of the mini games. I know one of them was Whack-A-Mole.
Yes.
Which was ridiculous. A lot of them were really kind of like stupid. The one I remember the most, though, was the mini golf.
Oh, yes, the mini
because
golf.
It took forever.
Yep. I think we quit a lot of the times, like halfway through.
Yeah, that was where I learned about the rage quit.
Well, it reminds me now of, like, when you play Mario Party and you select, like, 50 rounds, like, to do 50 rounds, and you're just like, why did I do this to myself? And that's what it was. It was like, why did we do this? Why?
It's also the reason why our original PlayStation 1 controller is, like, borked beyond belief, because you were the queen of slamming it on the ground when you lost.
Yes, I was the queen of the throw the controller across the room. Yes. Yes, I was. I'm so sorry.
And I remember, too, I always would give you the legitimate PlayStation 1 controller, and I would use the aftermarket one because it was red and it was see-through, and it was made by Mad Catz.
I thought it was green.
No, we had the green one, too, but the red one was the one that we used the most, because the red one was the turbo controller.
Yep, it had the rumbles.
Well, they all had rumble, but That red one, I just thought it looked cooler.
Yep.
Because it was see-through and it was bright red.
Yeah.
But in reality, I still own it. I have to pull it out at some point.
Yep.
I want to make a blog post about it at some point, but that thing is a piece of garbage. It is terrible.
Oh my goodness.
But my God, I remember it.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, but other than that, I remember the bumper car game.
Oh, yep. I remember the bumper card game.
Because that was the one that you were really good at for some reason.
Yeah, there was always, like, I feel like we always had some mini games where, with everything we played, there were always just some things that I was innately good at, and then some things that you were just much more better at. You had the majority. It was very rare when I was better at you than them, but that was one of the few where I was like, yeah, I'm better.
So, okay. So anyways, moving on to another game. Another big one. Just this isn't a timeline of the games we played. I just wanted to start with Rugrats because that was the first game we played on the PlayStation together.
That was like our introduction to the PlayStation.
Very much. But another game that, jumping around a bit, is, do you remember PS1 Monopoly?
Yes, I remember us playing Monopoly quite a bit too.
So PS1 Monopoly is... I actually think it's one of, like, the better, like, console versions of Monopoly.
Yep.
But one of the things I always remember about it was it made heavy use of, like, PlayStation era CG.
Yes.
And it would, like, animate the items
like
as they went across the board.
Yep.
And the animations were freaking hilarious. Like, I was always on Team Thimble for life.
Yep.
If you remember.
I think
and the Thimble was hilarious because... Go on.
Oh. I was gonna say, I think I was always like, if there was like a dog or something, like I always picked the animal or something.
You were the dog. You alternated between the dog.
Yep.
Or you were the top hat.
Ah, yes, the top hat. I think I remember why you were the animations.
Yeah, because it flapped.
Yeah.
The top hat flapped its wings as it flew across the board.
Yes.
It was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Yes.
The Thimble just liked to bounce around. But my favorite thing about the Thimble was whenever you went over, like, the go-to-jail space, the Thimble would, like, tiptoe over it, like, being sneaky.
Like, tiptoe, I'm not going to jail.
And I always remember that one. I also always remember, like, the, because we couldn't read at the time, I couldn't read what bankruptcy meant. So I remember I selected the bankruptcy option, thinking, what does this do? And then I just lost. And I was like, oh. And the game over screen is kind of creepy. Like, it's the top hat guy, like Mr. Monopoly. He's like in like rags, like shredded clothes, and he's just banging on the ground like I'm ruined.
I don't remember that. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to look that up.
One of these days, we're gonna have to play it again. I want to have like a 4-player round of that at some point, just because it is such a trip.
That would be funny. Oh my God, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But looking back, I'm like laughing so much because like when we played it, I forgot. Like we didn't know what bankruptcy meant. Like we didn't know what half the words meant.
We couldn't read. Also, we didn't know how to. I also, that game taught us how to actually play Monopoly, because when we actually played it, the board game, we did not follow the rules.
Yep.
At all.
I think.
And our parents just let us win. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
With every board
especially the
game
game of life.
Like, oh yes, no one ever follows the rules for life. Or Uno, I guess. Like everyone plays Uno wrong too. The proper way to play it. No one plays it right. No one.
All right. Now, jumping along again, let's go with another game. Do you remember the Rocket Power game?
Oh, yeah. That was
crap. This one we played. You didn't really play this one much more. This was one of the ones where you just kind of watched me play more than anything.
Yeah. I don't think I watched you play it for that much, too, because I remember you always rage quitting. Because you always got stuck, and you couldn't get past it.
The Rocket Power game is like an extreme sports game, and it has like snowboarding, biking, and stuff. The problem is, though, the story mode is confusing, and the controls aren't very good. So the story mode starts off with like snowboarding, and then you have to get in this like, I guess for story reasons, the villains of the plot stole your bike and ripped it apart and hid it around town. So then you have to, the second mission is you have to do this, like, roller skating thing. You have to find all the bike pieces in, like, a time limit.
Yep.
And the controls are so loose and slippery, I could never do it. I always just rage quit. I spent most of my time in that game, I spent just exploring the roller skating world map
Yep.
in, like, free play mode and trying to learn how to do stunts and just getting frustrated with it.
I remember
man.
that.
That was a trip, because that one literally is not good.
I
Like,
think that was
don't
like your
recommend.
your first game that like was like not playable, like that you just
Yeah.
like couldn't like you just couldn't play it because the controls were so bad. I think that was like your first experience with a game where the controls were just so poor that it almost made it unplayable.
Yeah, that one was definitely up there. I mean, some of these, like another one we can take a glance over for because we played it for literally probably about 10 seconds was Shrek's Treasure Hunt.
Yes.
I'd like to point out that we didn't pick any of these games. These were all gifts.
Yes, these were
Back in the day.
We were at the age of like licensed game. Ooh, they like Shrek. Ooh, they like Rocket Power. Ooh, SpongeBob. Ooh, all the
But, well, which is funny though, because we did have games we wanted at the same time though. Because I mean, I had Final Fantasy VIII and we had Crash at the same time too.
Yes.
But those are good games.
Yes.
And those are also the
good.
games we actually wanted.
Yes.
But what's
and
funny
we
is
played
the
a
ones
lot.
that we got a lot of licensed games as like birthday and Christmas presents over the years, and another one, yeah, the Shrek game. Oh my god! So that's another one we paid. I literally played for like 10 seconds and just gave up.
That game was like completely unplayable though, right? Like you just couldn't play that.
So
game.
it's like a mini game collection, but it has like this overworld
Open
map.
world. Yep.
But I couldn't figure out how to find like any of the world, like the mini games. So I just wandered around the map for like 10 minutes and was like, this is boring, and just took it out and put it away, and just that was it.
Yep. Yep. I don't
Yeah.
remember that one a lot, but I think it's because you tried and like got frustrated and you never
I played it
touched
once.
it again. Yep.
It went in a box, and I only rediscovered it recently.
I think I saw like clips of it online. Like someone did a review of it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that game." It was.
That's why I tried to find my copy of it, because I was like, I need to remember. Is this as bad as I remember? And yeah, it is.
Yes, it was as bad as you remember. Because I think
Okay.
that came out really quickly after the movie came out too. So they
Yeah,
were
it
just
was
trying to cash grab.
It was a late PS1 game. It was also made by a studio called The Code Monkeys,
Oh, how fun!
who also made Simpsons skateboarding. So I'll leave it at that.
Womp womp womp.
They actually made another game on this that we have on our list to talk about today. Goofy's Funhouse.
Ooh, Goofy.
Goofy's Funhouse. So this is one of the ones I actually beat back in the day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So I don't know how I did, because honestly, I played it recently and I'm like, this is
Hiccup.
bad. But yeah. So Goofy's Funhouse is kind of like, it's similar to the Shrek game actually. Now that I think about it, it's a minigame collection game.
Yep.
But it has like an overworld that you can explore. The difference is though, the overworld makes a bit more sense
Yep.
because it's not as condensed, and also what the mini games are actually makes. So it's like, to get the mini games, you have to like solve puzzles around the house, like find items and like bring them to other places to unlock mini games.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the mini games involves Goofy's car, and
yep.
but the car's missing its wheel because the wheel is flat. So you
Yep.
have to find the air pump to pump the air wheel, and then you got to put the wheel back on the car so you can do the car mini game.
Yep.
And the car mini game is unplayable. The controls are so bad.
Oh my goodness.
But my god. Yeah. Also, it has one of the worst fishing games on all of the PlayStation.
Oh,
It's
wow.
so boring.
It's so boring. I think I remember the fishing game. I think I remember it now.
I finished everything in that game except the fishing, because the fishing took forever.
Oh my goodness.
It took me like months to finish that because it was so boring.
Yeah.
What was cool though was once you beat a mini game, you unlocked a cartoon that kind of went with the mini game.
Oh.
So you could watch old,
Oh, that's coming back to me now. Oh my goodness.
and
I
you could
remember that.
watch these old. You could watch like these old like Disney cartoons, and it was a nice feature. I mean, nowadays you can find those things anywhere. I mean, Disney
Oh,
Plus,
yeah.
but
But at the time, like that was
it was cool
actually
for
like
yeah.
a lot of games did that. Like there was a lot of games that were like they had like little cartoons in them and stuff, and it was like
it's funny
fun
looking
feature.
back though, because it's funny looking back though because the quality is terrible.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Well, they were
because it's
compressing
PlayStation
it onto-
FMV. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious though.
That's so funny. I forgot about that. Oh, memory lane. Memory lane.
But anyways, staying on the Disney train now, let's actually go to a good game this time around.
Good game?
Yeah. Well, it was good for the time anyways, but
yeah.
Tigger's Honey Hunt.
Tigger! Oh,
this one we
that.
played a lot.
I remember the music like so fondly. Like I remember always like it would stay in my head for the whole day. The soundtrack, it was a really good soundtrack. Like it was good. They were fun games. I remember I always watched you play those games because.
So, the Tigger one is another funny one where it's another case of I didn't know that there was a single player at first. Because I remember we played a lot of the mini games in that game because all these games had mini games. If you notice.
That was a common trend.
I always remember poo sticks.
Poo sticks.
Poo sticks. Because you basically who throw the stick in the water, who's is gonna land first?
Who thought of that name? Who
I
said that was a good idea? Who named the character Poe? Who did this?
We just have dirty minds.
Yeah, not dirty, more immature.
No, we are extremely immature.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, that game was actually pretty cool because it was actually a side scroller.
Mhm.
Like a side scrolling platform game.
Yep.
And it had like exploration elements where like
yeah.
You'd run into like a character at the start of a level and he'd need an item and you'd find the item at like some point randomly hidden in the level.
Yep.
So you'd have to find that and then bring them back, and it was cool. Like you explored around these like pretty decently designed levels.
Yeah.
And as a kid, it was a decent challenge for the time. Like it was fun enough.
It was like a challenge, but it was also playable for like kids too.
And it looked good too for PlayStation standards. Like the graphics were colorful, nicely detailed. What's another thing? Oh, it also had full voice acting, which was pretty cool for the time.
Yeah. No, I remember that game really fondly. It was like such a like cute little fun game, like, and it was a good game.
And I pulled that one out recently just to give it a shot because I was like, I remember loving this as a kid. Let's see how it is.
Yeah.
And I put it in. I'm like, wow, this is still surprisingly solid.
Oh, it still holds up. That's awesome.
It is. I mean, it's not like the greatest game ever made, but you know, for a stupid little like platformer that you got as a kid, it was actually surprisingly solid.
Yeah.
It's still fun.
Aw, that's awesome. Oh, I loved that game. I remember that. Like, I have so many distinct like memories of us, like me watching you play it. Honestly, oh, it's such a cute game.
Yeah. So, jumping to another Disney property, here's another platformer, and this one is, I still think, a AAA game. Believe it or not, and that's 102 Dalmatians, Puppies to the Rescue.
Yep. I
Available.
remember.
Here's the funny part. We played the hell out of the PlayStation version back in the day.
Yes.
But nowadays, I actually tracked down the Sega Dreamcast version.
Oh, really? I didn't know there was a Sega Dreamcast version.
Well, because our PlayStation 1 copy was well played.
Yep.
And it doesn't work all the time anymore.
Oh, yeah. No.
So I realized rather than buying another PlayStation copy, I just found a Dreamcast copy, and I was like, yeah, give this a shot. It's actually cleaner.
Oh, really?
It looks nicer, and I mean, and it plays a little better. But, anyways, yeah, that game was surprisingly good.
Yeah, I remember us playing that game a lot. Well, me watching you play it a lot. I remember that.
You tried to play it.
I
but
think
you
I
didn't
did
have...
try, and I just wasn't very good at it. I didn't have the patience for it as a kid.
You were more into mini games at the time.
Yes.
But yeah, that game is actually like a fully developed like 3D platformer, like with a number of like pretty. The stages are all linear, so it's not like a super complicated game for kids.
Yep.
But for what it was surprisingly solid. It doesn't follow the plot of the movie at all.
No.
It's very loosely. It's actually more based off of the cartoon from the time than anything.
Yep.
But it's another one that had like full voice acting. I remember some of the levels were like hilarious too because they had like little like hidden Easter eggs all over the place.
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of like hidden quirky little features. Oh, that game was fun.
Well, there was a bunch of all the you had to the goal of the game was through every level is you had to find a number of Dalmatians hidden in boxes and rescue them. And they would always have this really ridiculous like dialogue whenever you rescued them. They'd all be like, "Oh, you saved me," and it's like, why does he have a nasally voice?
Oh, I remember. Oh, I just remember like there was some like wasn't there like a carnival air or something? I don't remember.
There was a carnival level.
Okay, I remember the carnival level like distinctly, like because it had like
I always remember
music.
One of the things I remember the most is there was the Cruella's like 3 henchmen.
Yes.
Would appear randomly throughout the levels, but what was funny is you had the two from the cartoon, the like Horace and Jasper, I think their names were.
Yep.
And they had their cartoon designs, and then you had that weird guy from the 102 Dalmatians movie, the lapelt guy, like the guy with like the fur coat.
Yep.
And he clashes so much with like everything in the game because he's based off his movie design.
Yep.
And he's so out of place. It's like, who the heck is this guy?
Yeah, what is up with this character that doesn't match anything else in the game?
Well, have you watched 102 Dalmatians recently? It is a weird movie.
I haven't watched.
She gets baked into a freaking cake at the end.
What the hell?
Yeah. It's bizarre. Very bizarre.
Yeah, I really haven't watched a lot of Disney movies.
I need to give you my Disney Plus account so you can see that.
Yeah,
it's something.
I'm like really like confused and stuff. I'm like looking back at Disney movies, like old Disney movies. You're just like, what the hell?
Well, it's funny because everyone's given Disney. I mean, I'm not even a huge Disney fan, and I'll defend Disney here. Everyone is giving Disney crap now for like all the live action remakes, but they were doing this back in the day. Like, this isn't like a new thing.
No, they were definitely doing.
Yeah, but I remember. You were saying?
Oh, I said I would definitely remember that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but yeah, that one was really good. Like, I still would say that's a phenomenal game, even like today.
No, I definitely remember like always having fun watching you play that, and like when I did play a little bit, it was always fun. It's definitely a good game. Disney surprisingly had like, well, not all of them are good, but it had like a lot of good licensed games on the PlayStation.
Most of Disney's PS1 output was like surprisingly really good.
Yeah.
Actually, not quite Disney, but it's in that same kind of realm. Here's a kart racer for you. Do you remember Muppets Race Mania?
Yes! It was such a good kart racer, and it's still really good.
It's actually really solid today, aside from the voice acting being kind of weird.
No, it's just
although
the
the two the humor in it is actually surprisingly funny though. Like there's the two, I forget their names, the two like Muppets that always like are like laughing about random crap.
Yep.
The old guys.
Yep.
But I always remember they would always do like the introduction to every track.
Yes.
And I remember one of them was all like, why does this track look the same as the last one? It's like, because it's just the lagoon at night or something like that. Like it was self-aware.
They always had like funny little.
But I remember
comedy.
And all the stages were based off of like the classic Muppet films up until Muppets in Space, I believe.
Yep. Oh, that's
and
so
it was
funny.
cool because they would actually there was a whole bunch of like full motion clips too from like all the Muppet stuff.
Yep. The PlayStation definitely utilized that, being able to like show a bunch of like full motion clips. That's so funny.
Yeah. That game is surprisingly hard though.
No, I remember like we'd play together, but I would lose all the time. I'd come in last place all the time.
Even in single player, like it's not a very easy game to be perfectly honest. Like I was surprised how much of a challenge I've had with it, even coming back to it now.
No, I remember I saw like a review of it recently. Not recently, like a year ago, and I remember them saying like, "Oh yeah, like this is a really fun game, but it's not easy, and you will have a hard time.
No, it really isn't. Like,
you will
it's
have to play the
challenging.
course 100 times before you get it right. Oh, that's so funny.
There's also like these there were these obstacle course levels where you had to like drive. They were like side scrolls, but you were still in the cart, and you had to like go through like these things in a time limit and like get around all these like different jumps and stuff. Like it's a good game. Like I'm surprised. There are so many good games on the PlayStation, even the license crap.
No, even I feel like back then, like the license stuff was like, yeah, they were trying to make money, but they also were like, oh yeah, we're gonna try and make money, but we're also gonna make it like a decent and fun game to play. And then as it progressively, as we get now, they make it to just sell, and it's crap. Like, and they know it's crap.
Yeah. Honestly, we don't really get that many licensed games these days.
No,
anymore.
not anymore. Well, I think because people don't really buy them anymore. Cause, like,
it's that, and games are just more expensive to make now.
Yeah, no, that too.
That's why the Wii was such a like treasure trove of like of shovelware, because the Wii was so easy to make games for at that point.
Yep. Oh, there's so much crap. We could do a whole episode on the Wii, like just crappy games on the Wii.
Wii shovelware.
Wii crap.
Yeah. But anyways, moving on with kart racers. Another classic kart racer from that time was Lego Racers.
Oh yes, I remember the music distinctly too, and you could like build your cart and like create your car. Oh, so fun.
That music like was like it like punched you in the gut. Like it had this like strong like boom to it.
And you never forgot it. Like it would be in your head
No.
for like a week.
I also liked making the most, because the cart building like aspect didn't have any like whatever you built didn't actually take aerodynamics into effect.
No,
you could build
make the
whatever you wanted.
tank.
You could just make these like ungodly like travesties on wheels, and they would race just as fast as everything else.
Oh, I remember like us playing, and I'd be like, "What the heck is that?" And you'd be like, "It's my cart," and I'd be like, "That's an abomination! What are you doing?"
It was art. It was art.
It was a
It was
shart,
beautiful.
not art. A shark.
I'm gonna like pull that out now and make the most ridiculous like thing I can think of.
Please
in
do.
the limitations of the system.
Please do, and make an Instagram post of it. I think it would be hilarious. That'd be so funny.
I'll look into it because I have ideas. But that game was solid too. Like it had really good controls.
Yeah.
Like, cool levels. Really hard.
And
like,
fun little power-ups too.
Okay, so the power-up system. This is what I wanted to talk about.
Yep.
All the bricks have different designs. Like certain ones are projectile based, others are shields. One of them's a straight up teleport.
Yep.
But the way they work is they have this cool stackable system where all the regular power-ups are colored, like different colored bricks, but then there's the white brick, and the white brick is like the stack brick.
Yep.
So every time you get like a white brick, it actually like levels up your power-up that you have currently in your like I guess the hold spot.
Yep.
So like my favorite is say the booster, where it's like it every power-up goes up to 4.
Yep.
And the booster starts out, it's this tiny little rocket, then it's like this big rocket, then it's like 2 rockets, and then the last one is just a straight up level warp. Where it's like, whoa. And like the shield is like progressively gets bigger. All like the different like missiles and like rock like projectile ones. It's a cool idea, and it makes it like kind of like tactical in a way. Like, do you want to use it now or do you want to wait and like get a better version? Or sometimes you don't like the level warp one. Sometimes you don't want the level warp. Sometimes you just want the boost.
Yep. Oh, that's so
like
cool.
That was a cool. That's something I think kart racers should bring back, honestly, because Lego Racers had a sequel, believe it or not, on the PlayStation 2, and they didn't actually have that feature, which made it so much less interesting. I think, anyways. I don't remember Lego Racers 2. We didn't own it.
I don't think so. That's like one thing I'm like, that was something that was so cool about the game because it was so innovative. Like it was taking the popular kart racer at the time, but it was making it like different and fun and like
it felt like a Lego game, and this is before like the Lego games became the Lego games as we know today.
No, I wonder if they'll ever do like a remake of that game with like
or just a new.
Like a new
Or
version where they kind of take it and like they really amp up like the cart building too, because I feel like now they could actually take into account like aerodynamics and like all of that fun stuff. That would be such
aerodynamics in a liquor game. I love it.
All that fun stuff.
Oh man.
That would be, but it would be fun if you made like this beefy box and like it actually affected, like you went as like a snail's pace, like you could barely go. It would be cool if you could experiment with that.
Oh, but then everyone would just literally make like a chassis on wheels.
No, but then they could also do like, well, if it's only like so little, then your character could go flying out of the cart. So, or like it would be too fast, and you could, I feel like they would have a way to work around it. I don't know. I think that would be super fun if they did that. I would love to see a remake of that.
Well, anyways, moving on, still with kart racers. Do you remember Nicktoons Racing?
Yes. We played the crap out of that. We played it so much.
What was funny is that was one of those weird games that we had on both PlayStation and PC.
Yes, I remember playing it on the PC. But I think we played it together.
They were identical, though.
Yeah. Oh.
What I always thought was funny though about that game was that game to me was like the that was kind of like the passing of the torch moment for like old Nickelodeon and new Nickelodeon.
Yep. Yeah, because like it had the Angry Beavers, like the monster cartoon with the creepy, ugly monsters that
All Real Monsters. Yep.
All Real Monsters was Rocko's Modern Life.
Rugrats. Rocko's Modern Life.
I think
Ren and
SpongeBob.
Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy.
Was SpongeBob on there? Was he in
Yes.
that? Okay.
That was SpongeBob SpongeBob was like only like a year old at that point, I think.
And they threw him in. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, looking back on that, it just makes me think of all like the childhood Nickelodeon cartoons.
Well, you know, Wild Thornberrys was in there too.
Oh, yep.
But what makes that so funny was SpongeBob was like, this was kind of like foreshadowing to what Nickelodeon is now, where they're basically just living off of like milking SpongeBob to death.
Yep.
But every character in that game had at least one representation or two at most. Yep. Except for SpongeBob. SpongeBob had 3. But to be fair, the one of them wasn't apparent at first.
Yeah.
Because so there was SpongeBob and Patrick, obviously.
Yep.
And then the main villain of the game is the Mystery Racer, who, spoiler alert, ends up being Plankton.
Oh, that's so funny.
Which I didn't find out till like years later when I was actually good enough to beat
it. Oh, that's so funny.
I remember the intro to that game was creepy as a kid too.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of games were a little creepy as a kid. You look back and you're like, that was weird. It was a weird time.
It's just funny looking back at that one, because that's like that was like one of the final hurrahs of old school Nickelodeon before it really like evolved.
Yeah, and it started coming like the live action shows, and I miss old
live action shows and
crap.
Just the weird.
All the weird. I mean, there were some good ones, but there was a lot of weird stuff. Like, I can't
honestly,
even remember.
We could do an entire We could do probably an entire podcast on Nickelodeon games at some point.
We could, probably.
Yep. Well, anyways, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
See you then.
Yep.
Woo!
And we're back.
We're back!
So, yep. So, continuing on with the Nickelodeon theme real quick, we also have SpongeBob Super Sponge.
Yes. I remember.
Not the first SpongeBob game, but one of the first.
Yes.
And it's not very good.
No.
No. So, this one was weird. Like, it was like a side-scrolling platformer.
Yep.
With really slippery controls.
Yep.
And so SpongeBob, all the character graphics were like sprites.
Yep, I remember.
But the world was like 3D, but it was like really like photorealistic 3D.
It was wonky looking. It looked weird.
Yeah. It's a very uncanny looking game.
Yeah.
But it also had that like super compressed audio where like all the character voices sound like they're in like a bubble. whenever they talk, and it's like really really like hot,
like really ear grating, not pleasant.
But one of my favorite parts about it was so the whole plot of the game is it's Patrick's birthday, and all SpongeBob wants is a signature from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
Yep.
Like an autograph. And they are just like the biggest jerks for no reason. Like they send SpongeBob off on these constant like fetch quests.
Yep.
Like get them lunch, do their dry cleaning, like all this random stuff. So SpongeBob's like going from place to place in all these levels, including going to the future at one point.
Yep.
To inside like this like bonefish. Like the oh god, the graphics in this game are weird.
Yeah.
But the most hilarious thing about this game is that, well, there's two things. When you finally actually beat the game, and you get the thing, the final goal for Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy before they give you the autograph is you have to fix their TV, and SpongeBob clearly doesn't know what he's talking about doing, so he does such a hack job that after they give him the thing, the TV breaks immediately, and Mermaid Man like threatens to kill him. It's so random.
I remember like Mermaid Man just being like a jerk, and you were just like, what the hell? I don't want to help you. You stink. Like, I hate you.
It was funny because Barnacle Boy was always a jerk, even in the show. But Mermaid Man was like super jerk in this one. Granted, they were only like they probably had like one appearance at this point, so they really didn't have characters.
They weren't really fleshed out or anything.
And then the other hilarious part is if you get a game over, it's just Patrick at his birthday by himself. Oh. And he's just going, oh, nobody likes me.
Oh my god, I remember it. Oh, that's like coming so back
sad.
To me. Because I remember that like so much because like the controls were so poor, you'd get the game over screen so many times. So you'd hear that audio so much. Oh my god, as soon as you said that, it came back in my head and I was like, oh my god, I remember this. Oh.
No, I just remember that because it was like so dark for no reason.
Yep.
It's like, oh my god. Yeah, that game, you know that game had a Game Boy Advance version too that's like slightly different?
Oh no, I didn't know it had a Game Boy Advance version.
I got it recently and played it. I'm like, it's actually slightly better, but it's still not good.
Yeah. Is it like the controls are slightly better, but still poor?
It looks slightly nicer.
Oh, okay.
It's
so
not
the
doing
controls
the
are still
3D.
Poor.
Yeah, it's not good, but it's not as disturbing.
It's not as bad. It's
and you don't have
good,
Patrick. You don't have Patrick wanting to kill himself at the end of the game.
That's so depressing looking back on it. Yikes.
It is. And this was early SpongeBob too, before Patrick became just like this irredeemable jerk half the time.
I know, they really made like Patrick like such a like not likable character towards the end.
It's really sad how much you relate with Squidward as you grow up.
Oh yeah. No, I look back and I'm like,
we are literally all Squidward nowadays.
Oh yeah. No, especially now. We're all Squidward.
Everybody is Squidward.
You're Squidward. I'm Squidward. We're Squidward.
How many Squidwards are there? Meow.
Meow.
Oh god. Classic SpongeBob was like on point.
Oh, I know. Looking back, I still like. I can never watch SpongeBob. Well, the newer SpongeBob again because of that toenail episode.
Yeah.
It haunts me in my dreams. I'm like, why would they? Who animated that? And who said, "Oh yeah, honestly, children's TV. Let's rip someone's toenail off." Ew! It was. Sorry, this is a tangent, but it makes me so angry because that's gross, and I didn't want to see that on SpongeBob. That's my tangent.
But honestly, we should do a Nickelodeon podcast at some point because we could talk a lot.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, moving on from SpongeBob, another classic cartoon at the time was. Do you remember Bugs Bunny Lost in Time?
Yes.
This is another really good one.
Oh yeah.
So this was another 3D platformer, but this one had really solid controls. Awesome voice acting. Like, it is very on point with Warner Brothers style humor.
Yep. You can tell
I
they
just
really
remember,
put a
like,
lot of effort into the game.
I just always remember, like, all the levels were cool, like, very solidly designed. Like, I like the time travel mechanic too, because you could just like go to like all these different eras, and then I don't think
Yeah.
I ever beat that one though. Honestly, I need
I
to
don't
sit down
think
and
you
play it
did.
again.
No, I don't think we got very far in it. But I remember it being good.
No.
But I think what happened was I think you got that and then you got like Crash Bandicoot or another game and then that ended up taking over and like you just didn't ever hop
No,
back
you know what I think happened? I think the PlayStation 2 came out around that point,
Oh, yeah, I think that's probably it.
and we had just kind of moved on by this point.
Yeah. But it was a good game. Like I remember I have some solid memories of that game. Like the music was good, the voice acting, characters were good. Like oh, it's such a good game.
Going from a good Looney Tunes themed game to a not so good Looney Tunes themed game. Do you remember the Tiny Toons Plucky's Big Adventure game?
I do. Like I remember playing it, but I don't remember a lot about it. I think I blocked it out.
Okay. So this is like one of the most odd games I think I've ever played. Because I recently actually played it again, wanting to do a blog post about it.
Yep.
And I finished it in under an hour.
Oh wow!
It's an incredibly short game. Basically, it's an adventure game where you kind of walk around the Tiny Toons school and you basically just solve like puzzles.
Oh, okay.
Like every level is.
Oh, everything is coming back to me now. Oh my god!
Yeah,
it's all coming back.
Like it looked. It was also. It was like there was no music.
Yep.
I think no, actually no. There might have been music, but it was like really
was music,
like quiet.
but it was poor. Yeah, it wasn't very good music.
It was a very sterile game, like
yeah,
because there was no voice acting and everything. Yeah, and I mean some of the puzzles were somewhat clever, but at the same time, like it was. And the best part about it is the whole goal is like I think it's like Plucky forgot to do his homework, so he decides to build a time machine to go back in time and do his homework. And as you get through the game, once you finally, the payoff is hilarious because once you finally build the time machine, literally, Plucky like the bike goes into the future, but Plucky just crashes into the wall, and the bike's gone, and it's like the whole game was for nothing.
Yep. Oh, that's a good Looney Tunes ending though. That's a very Looney Tunes ending.
Yeah. The game in all regards to it was pretty crap.
Yep. And it's like thinking about it logically, he probably could have done his homework in the amount of time it spent to build the time machine. Oh, that's so stupid.
Yeah, that one wasn't spectacular by any means. I always remember it though. I just came back to me because I remember I finished it in literally under an hour. It was that short. Oh my
god, that's so funny. I feel like a lot of them were almost like they didn't have a lot of playtime, but like you were so new to video games. I think they were aiming for that crowd of new to video games that it would take them a long time to do it. But looking at it now, it would take nothing to do it.
No. So moving on, here's another racer. Do you remember Hot Wheels Turbo Racing?
Yes. We have a lot of racing
When I think
games.
Hot Wheels Turbo... We did. I think that might be why we like them so much. But
yeah.
On the funniest part about Hot Wheels Turbo Racing is I always will remember it because Hot Wheels were cool back in the day, but also the intro music was fueled by Metallica. So it's like, give me fuel, give me 5 every time you start the game.
Oh my god! Yup. It's all coming back now. Oh my god, that's so funny. Looking back, they would never do that now. Mattel would never do that.
Well, no, because you have to pay licensing fees now.
Oh my god. That's funny to look back and think about. Like, I wonder if they did ask Metallica or if they just used it. Like, I wonder, because it was
they definitely did, because they definitely they definitely had to pay royalties. I mean, this is Metallica we're talking about, the Napster guys.
Yep.
But, yeah. But I always remember that. It was... So this one was pretty cool, because, like, all the cars were, based off of actual Hot Wheels toys from the time.
Yep.
like the classic ones, and Kyle Petty's NASCAR Hot Wheels car at the time, because of course, why not?
Yep.
But the levels in that one were really cool, like really creative levels, like a lot of obstacles you had to dodge. Hot Wheels games were surprisingly good back in the day.
Yeah, I remember we had like Hot Wheels computer games too, and I remember playing those a lot too. The computer ones.
Oh, the stunt track driver.
Yes, I remember that
We'll,
I remember.
we'll save that one for.
Oh yeah,
we'll
true.
save
We can
that one
talk
for
about it.
when we talk about. We'll do a old PC games podcast at some point.
We have
But
a
yeah.
lot to talk about. A lot of Hot Wheels, a lot of Barbie.
And among other things, but
Among
getting back to the
this.
PlayStation, another one that was a surprisingly solid game for the time was. Do you remember the original Spider-Man game?
Yes, I do. I remember playing that together.
I remember it mostly for the music.
Yep.
You know, Spider-Man does whatever. Yeah.
We are
That
great
game is
singers.
the music in that. No, we're not terrible. But oh, shut it. But,
I just heard that echo. Sorry.
But anyways, the music in that game, composed by Tommy Tallarico,
Yep.
it is like bassy and funky as hell.
Yep.
Like whenever like you get into like a fight in that game, it's like the bass just pops. It's like dun 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 dun, dun like crazy stuff.
Yeah. Start headbanging.
But yeah. Honestly, I think that was probably one of the first like truly great superhero games. Because it was just like it was crazy like how well made that game was. That was made by Neversoft, the people who did the Tony Hawk series after eventually.
Oh, that's funny.
But I always remember the levels were really cool, even though like it did the web swinging didn't really make sense because you could basically swing anywhere in the sky no matter what. But I mean, whatever. We had better web swinging.
Hey, it was fun. It was fun. That's what really mattered.
Well, I always like the logic that he's just attaching to the top of your TV screen.
Yeah, exactly. Also, like, I don't know. I think
man.
people need to not. It's a guy who shoots webs from his hand. Like, who cares at that point?
Oh, don't get the comic fans started. But
Oh, I won't.
anyways, I always love the plot I love the plot in that game too because their way of not having to render full cities was they basically made the whole plot about
Wasn't
the
it
city
covered
gets
in
flooded.
fog? Yep.
It gets flooded in poison gas, so it's like this is our reasoning for why you can't go touch the ground because there's poison gas.
This is why we don't have to render all the graphics. That
Hey,
is
and
smart
honestly-
for the time. Smart for the time. It worked.
Yeah, that game, it runs great. Like it's a very solidly made game.
Yeah.
Great voice acting. Stan Lee does all like the introductions because of
Oh,
course
that's
Stan
so,
Lee does.
Oh, that's actually like so sad looking back on that now. Like, oh, if you
Well,
played
this is
that
you
again.
gotta remember though. This is before all the Marvel movies and stuff. So this was before Stan Lee
Yeah.
cameos were everywhere.
No,
But,
that was like his first cameo almost. Like, not really, I
maybe-
bet, but it
I'm
was
not
one
sure
of
if-
his first. Like one of
I'm
his.
not sure if
little-
the Spider-Man movie was out yet or one of the X-Men's at that point. I doubt it.
Yeah.
But going on from there too. One of my favorite things about that game is the cheat system.
The cheats. I
one
don't
reason.
remember the cheats.
So the cheats, the game. It's not so much the cheats that I remember the most. It's what you could do on the cheat menu that was genius that Neversoft thought of.
What?
If you go onto the cheat menu and you write like a swear word, like you write like the F word or something,
Yep.
Spider-Man will just pop up on the screen and punch it into something not a swear.
Oh my god! I didn't know about
And-
that. Oh my god. Well, I didn't
No,
know what swear
it's-
words at the time were. So
Well, no, we didn't either. This is something I found out recently later on. But,
that's so funny. That's so clever.
I'm
too.
obviously not going to say what they are, but if you write, you can get very creative. Let's just say, and it's amazing how many they took into. It's amazing how deep they actually thought this through.
Well, it's funny, like, to think about, like, alright, the creators of the game, like, pointed at one guy and said, you there. Your job, think of all the possible ways you can spell the F word. and write him
Oh,
down.
no, it's not even just the
but-
F word, just...
No, all the swear. I just
Any-
I love the idea of thinking about some person, and that was their whole task for the game, was just to think of that for one little part of the game. That's hilarious. Oh my god. I love that.
It's just funny because you type it in and then literally SpongeBob's... not SpongeBob pops on screen.
Just imagine SpongeBob just like, hell no! And it's like, oh,
I'm pretty sure that game predates SpongeBob. But anyways, Spider. It's just great because you read it in Spider-Man. Just his model literally just pops up and just punches it and then goes away. It's like, okay.
Oh my god, I love that.
That
I'm
one
gonna
was
look
great.
that up after this so I can see it. Oh my
Just
God.
look up Spider-Man PS1 swearing, cheat menu swearing or something. You'll probably find it.
Oh, that's so
But
funny.
another, what was another great one? Oh, do you remember Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories?
Yes, it was just the card game, but it had like a weird like story mode to it.
Then in the card game's rules were like so wrong. Like they didn't follow the actual official rules. The game was hard too.
So whoever made the
really
game
hard.
didn't actually play the card game, basically.
Made well, I have no idea. I forgot, actually, it was made by the creators of the card game. So
Oh, so maybe we just don't know how to play the card game, is what
no.
you're saying.
That game literally just doesn't follow the rules of how the card game actually is. Then again, though, the anime didn't follow the rules either. So
Nope. Oh, that anime.
but yeah, it was yeah, that was a classic. That game's actually a treasure. What am I saying?
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
But anyways, we're pretty much at the end of our list here. So now, actually, we're gonna go with our final game that we have probably the most memories of.
Yes.
And this isn't light.
Yes.
This one isn't licensed. Yeah, okay. This one isn't licensed. This one is just a very obscure platforming action game, I guess you could say. But it was a Tiny Tank.
Tiny Tank. I loved it.
Fully titled Tiny Tank Up Your Arsenal.
Why did Mom
Yeah.
buy this for us?
She didn't. She bought it for Dad.
Oh, okay.
And we just kind of acquired it.
It became ours at one point. Oh my god.
We kind of borrowed it one day and never gave it back. You know.
Exactly. That's always how it works as kids.
It's alright. Dad doesn't play video games anymore anyways, so.
Nope, true.
But, Tiny Tank. Where do we begin with Tiny Tank?
Oh. I don't... Oh, well,
Honestly,
it had
I'd
voice
say-
acting, right?
It did. The cutscenes, the full on... So the game... The way the game works is it's actually a really cool idea is all the levels in the game take place after, like, the story that is being explained in the cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
So all the cutscenes, the CGI, like, nice, like, CGI ones, are, like, like a kind of like a prequel to the actual what's going on in the game. So it's kind of like they slowly, as you play through the game, you get built up to what's actually going on. But they're so freaking funny. Tiny Tank, the actual tank like that you play as, is a snarky little jerk, and it's amazing.
Oh, I just
That was-
remember all the jokes now. I like want to go back and either look up like a playthrough or play it myself because I feel like I get the jokes more now too. Like, because at the time I think it was jokes that went over our head.
Oh, there was a ton of them. Like
We just didn't know. Oh, I want to go back.
Tiny
watch
Tank's
it.
funny, but the game is it's basically like a platforming hybrid / like action game where you get a bunch of levels and you usually there's a set target in the level that you have to take out, and you basically have to kind of go around the levels, like build up your arsenal of weapons on your Tiny Tank and then take out the said thing through the level and then get back to the objective platform and then move to the next level.
Yep.
But it has just this hilarious like sense of humor. Like in the background, you have like the villain of the game, like who's doing like radio broadcasts the whole time,
Yep.
just taunting you, like and getting progressively more agitated as you take out more like enemies.
Yep.
I always remember the first boss because the first boss is like this like cowboy guy,
Yep.
and when you defeat him, You take
get
his
his
cowboy
hat.
hat. So
You
Tiny
take
Tank
his
just has
cowboy hat.
he just has a yeah. So Tiny Tank just has like a cowboy hat the entire game.
Oh, I freaking love
It's just
that
it's
game.
funny.
It was a
That
really
game-
fun game, and I feel like it's so underrated. Like I feel like no one really knows about it, but it was so fun.
So the studio that made Tiny Tank is a very obscure studio called And Now Productions.
Oh wow.
They literally made 2 games. They made Tiny Tank, and then they also made another game called Mort the Chicken.
Okay.
Tiny Tank is significantly better than Mort the Chicken.
Okay.
But they both have that really weird sense of humor.
Yeah.
Mort the Chicken is just weird. Mort the Chicken is just a straight up weird game. Ugh.
Never heard of it, so.
Look it up
Tiny
sometime.
Tank.
It's
Tiny Tank.
one of my favorite levels. One of my favorite levels in Tiny Tank is there's like the level is it's just an arena, and basically all you have to do for the level. Well, actually, no. The level before it's even shorter. You're on a conveyor belt, and you basically have to
I remember that.
take out. You got to basically you have to get through like this vacuum tube to get to the next level, but the only way to do it is you have to get on top of one of these. It's like a piece of they call it nanometal in the game, but touching the nanometal hurts you because it's super hot, so you have to get it cooled. So you have to time it to get on top of the metal, so it sucks you up through the thing. And it's kind of challenging, but then the next level is literally just a it's just a mountain of nanometal, and the goal is you have to basically take out the metal mountain.
Yep.
And the way you do it is you basically just keep shooting at the metal and overheat it until it explodes.
Yep.
But the thing is, there's these cooling robots who are trying to keep it cool, so you have to take them out constantly while still overheating the mountain. It's just a cool idea.
Yeah.
There's some variety in that game.
Really creative. It was a really creative game. Very different from the rest, and it's so underrated. We need a remake of Tiny Tank. I am starting a petition. We're remaking Tiny Tank. We're revamping it, and it's coming out. Someone do it, please. Oh, also, remember when didn't he have little baby tanks that followed him too at some point?
They were, and you could use them. You could use them as bombs.
Yes. You were like, goodbye, my child. Time to explode and die. Your sacrifice will not be in vain.
Yeah. So, anyways, looking back at it, we played a lot of weird stuff on the PlayStation.
And a lot of it was really fun, and then a lot of it was hot garbage, but all pretty good memories, I'd have to say.
Let's be fair though. I mean, we did enjoy everything we played at the time.
Yeah, I mean, even when we were frustrated and mad, we still went back and played it. So
it's really funny thinking about it now because it's yeah, we'd be playing Crash or I'd be playing Final Fantasy 7. I mean, not 7, 8.
Yep.
And then the rest of the time we were just playing this licensed garbo.
Yeah. Even though some of it was good.
Some of it
was good.
Some was good. Not all of it though.
Yeah, some was horrible.
Oh man.
Hot garbage.
Yeah, some of it was pretty bad. Remember that Power Rangers Time Force game?
Oh.
That I could never beat this. I could never beat the 3rd level.
Yep. Cringe.
And you had that Powerpuff Girls game.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was a bad game.
That was, yeah, it was like a beat 'em up, I think.
Yeah, I don't think the controls worked though. I don't think anything worked.
I don't think the game. I think the
game was broken. Yeah, or maybe my copy just didn't work or something.
No, I just think the game was broken.
Yeah, it was. It was a cash grab made to be crap, so people would buy it but not play it.
You also had that Bratz game that you literally didn't know what to do.
Oh yeah, the Bratz game.
The dancing one.
Yeah, it also another one where it just did not make sense and you didn't know what you were doing and we were like, all right, this is a game but I don't know what to do. Oh, Bratz had a lot of games too. They did a lot of They had like a Wii game, I remember, and they had like a lot of computer games.
There was a couple on the PlayStation 2 as well.
Yeah, Bratz. What a
Dang.
time. They don't even make
Do you
them
remember
anymore.
No, I think they came back.
They did?
I saw them in the store one day, so. But oh, do you remember PlayStation DDR?
Yes, we had the mats for it, didn't
The
we?
mat that was terrible.
Yeah, it like
didn't
smelled
work.
bad too. It was like it didn't work and it smelled like weird plastic. I just
Yeah.
remember it smelled really bad for some reason.
I wonder if we still have the dance pad.
I don't know. We might.
Is it bad that I had more fun playing or trying to play other games with the dance pad than I did playing DDR with the dance pad?
That's actually hilarious. No, that's what
I
you
still
do
ha-
with all the wonky controllers. You gotta try and play them on games it doesn't belong.
Honestly, I think I still have DDR that DDR game.
That's
I gotta
so
pull it out
funny.
sometime and see what the music is.
Yeah. See if you have the dance pads too. I feel like we might not. I feel like we might have thrown them away because I have no idea where they would be. But if we have them, we gotta
Nah.
bring it out. Bring it back.
No, we need to find the Nintendo GameCube one and play DDR Mario Mix.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Because I have that. I do have that somewhere.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
Oh wow.
We'll do that.
So
Easter.
I guess to wrap this up, what was probably your favorite of the bunch?
Tiny Tank, of course. Oh,
Tiny Tank.
I love that game.
I'd say it was Tiny Tank and Hot Wheels Turbo Racing were probably
Oh
the two
yeah,
I played the
Hot
most.
Wheels. I still I completely forgot the Metallica song until you started singing it, and I was like, oh my god, it's all coming back. Oh, that's so funny.
I mean, it worked for what it was because it was just like, give me fuel, give me fire. Like, just... Oh man.
I remember that. Like, that song is forever in my head because of that game. Oh, no, I'd have to agree. Hot Wheels and Tiny Tank were probably the ones that. Oh, and the Tigger game because that one was just so cute and wholesome.
And 102 Dalmatians.
Though, yeah, I'd have to say those are like the best ones that we played. Definitely. Of the weird ones, they were definitely the best.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh,
Well,
such good memories.
that was
I forgot about
that was
a
a
lot
good
of those
chat.
games. No, it was a good chat.
I can't believe, it's really funny, but those were some of probably the. This is one of the first real episodes I think where we truly talked about the games that shaped us.
No, definitely Tiny Tank. Tiny Tank.
Oh man. Wow. Well, that was a good talk.
No, that was a good one. I enjoyed it.
Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us again on the Gaming and Collecting Podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
And
And
we'll
you can find the Gaming and Collecting... What?
What? We're struggling.
Oh, we're falling apart. No.
Oh no.
No, but anyway... Anyways, guys, you can find us on all the major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, along with Anchor. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us as we discuss the games that shaped us. See ya.
Bye.